You wanna move?
Let's try.
One, two, go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we bring you a new season of Emergency Teachings, Season 3, Episode 1. Our teaching today is titled Making America Israel Again. Why Israel should annex the United States. Join our illustrious panel of experts, the hosts of the podcast Three Arabs and, which will probably never be recorded, in addressing this important and timely topic. Sinan Antoun, our cultural landscape expert, Adel Iskandar, our media landscape expert, and myself, Bassam Haddad, our social science expert. Welcome Adel and Sinan and myself to our regularly scheduled emergencies. Israel was on top of the world in America. Some say it was actually on top of America. Yet others say it is actually inside America. You get the idea. However, in a monumental reversal of fortune, Israel saw its popularity in the United States plunge to unprecedented depth starting in March 2025 and reaching the lowest point in October 2025. For once in many decades, the word Israel mysteriously and sadly, to be honest, stopped evoking notions of democracy and victimhood. How can that be? Who can accept Israel's reputation to be dragged through the mud? How long can we handle seeing poll after poll after poll showing Americans no longer buy Israel's story? But fret not, Larry Ellison and Barry Weiss say, we are here to make America Israel again. And in case purchasing dignity and America's honor does not work, Israel should annex the United States wholesale. Adil, our social science media landscape expert, share with us your thoughts on why Israel should annex the United States.
Thank you so much, Bassem. I want to say that annexing is really misunderstood. It is so innocuous, so harmless, so advantageous to all parties involved. But first, what is an annex? An annex is an additional space. There's nothing that Israel needs more than space and land. Forget the ambitions of Netanyahu with the greater Middle East. That's nonsense. What could be greater than the cornfields of Nebraska or the orange groves of Florida? Israeli settlers can take over these barren wastelands, claim these crops as their own, resell the produce back to Americans with added tariffs. It'll work like a charm. Oh, by the way, and if anyone claims or asks to boycott these produce, they will be made illegal. And now, Bassem, your thoughts on this.
Frankly, folks, Israel needs to wise up. Why should Israel be the middleman? Huh? Why buy American media networks, studios, and newsrooms and then compel them to toe the line? It's so inefficient. Let's cut the middleman. Really. Let's cut the middleman. The Israeli way. Just annex, baby. Annex. Also, and Awzadif, the American left keeps blabbering about our American tax dollars financing Israel and its genocide and how this drags our relationship, our reputation, or both, through the doo-doo, using our own tax dollars. Imagine the convenience of Israel annexing America, though. We would no longer have to be taxed and have our money funneled to sustain apartheid, ethnic cleansing, and war crimes in and by Israel. Instead, our tax dollars will go directly to Israel because Israel is inside us. Just annex, baby. Annex. Adil or Sinan, Any additional thoughts?
Look, we have heard Israeli and American politicians say time and again that Israel and the United States have a sacred bond. And it's so true if you think of it. Both nations embody the cherished values, honorable deeds, and futuristic visions of settlers who landed on empty land, abandoned and neglected by uncivilized natives who were not entrepreneurs and didn't speak any European languages. What were the settlers supposed to do with them? Both also are nations conceived and born in almost miraculous circumstances and against all odds. Come to think of it, like two Jesuses, twins. Now I know naysayers and boring leftists are thinking, yes, yes, there are a few glitches and minutiae, such as a few genocides here and there, 500 villages destroyed, and 2.5 centuries of slavery and whatnot, but let's stay positive, eyes on the prize. It's time for the sacred bond to be official. Annexation is like a wedding night, and Trump's lawyers can take care of the prenups, which will be the constitution of this new state. Adil, what do you have to say?
Thank you, Sanan. I really appreciate your comments here. I want to add as well that annexing has a bad rep, but in fact, the word means to incorporate or to include, not to exclude. Also, who doesn't want an annex? It's that awesome backyard shed, that tool room, the barn, whatever you want to call it. It's that place that adds value to your life. That's the annex. For decades, the United States has been Israel's backyard shed where tools like screwdrivers, F 15s, interceptors, hammers, rockets, missiles, WD 40s, 2,000 pound bombs, magic markers, bunker busting bombs, staplers, B 52 bombers, and other useful tools that Israel has needed for over the last 76 years. After all these decades, why not incorporate the annex into the main home? Annexing the annex would renovate the shed, upgrade it, give it the respect that it rightfully deserves, and turn it from a neglected backyard repository to a cherished and cozy part of the home. If done right, the United States might end up being Israel's man cave. Bassem, what are your thoughts?
Folks, I have to be also honest. My heart aches every time Netanyahu has to travel to receive incessant standing ovations in Congress here in America. Why can't he just stroll from a southeast Washington, D.C. neighborhood to the steps of the Capitol instead? Same with Trump, who actually thinks the US and Israel are already one country. Check this out. After all, Trump is more comfortable addressing the Knesset, as he did recently, and Netanyahu is also more comfortable addressing Congress. They both got more standing ovations than a Christian Greek Orthodox Sunday Mass. So why not switch? Or better yet, just annex, baby. Just take the whole thing. Annex. Huh? Sinan, any additional thoughts? Thoughts? Did I say thoughts? Thoughts.
I have a lot of shots. Look, I'll be honest too. I think we have to come clean. I was too tired to write this second segment. So I asked AI to write it for me. And AI said, AI stand for America and Israel. It also added, look, human, the world is moving faster than you can think toward efficiency and consolidation. Everything the US did in the past and or wants to do again, now or in the future, Israel does much more efficiently and in less time. You name it: ethnic cleansing, genocide, bombing neighboring countries, assassinating people you don't like left and right, occupying and annexing land from other sovereign nations. Do I need to go on? With Israeli leadership, vision, and the IDF's guidance, the US can solve all of its problems in no time, beginning with immigration, and in a very humanitarian way, the IDF way. Bomb Mexico away to the South Pole, annex Canada, Greenland, and Scandinavian countries, and by the way, get 10 Nobel Prizes for President Trump. but only after providing safe zones for all the immigrants in Europe to go to so that they can be bombed. This makes perfect sense. Thank you, AI, America and Israel. Adil, do you have something else to add?
Um, yeah.
Mm,
Honestly, I think Sinan, the really the lessons of October 7th call for not only vigilance but preparation for threats in the future. With polls indicating that Americans are increasingly opposed to Israel, the infiltration of Hamas in every aspect of US society is deeply unsettling. Hamas's takeover of major American cities is alarming. This year, the threats are compounded with Hamas literally running for office in the New York mayoral elections. Heck, they even built tunnels underneath the city of New York. This is outrageous. These tunnels, which they deceptively call the subway, are used to transport Hamas doctors, Hamas engineers, Hamas school children, Hamas lawyers, Hamas bicycles, and other Hamas things. Depending on next month's elections, the world will learn whether any New Yorkers are actually innocent. Israel's annexation of the United States and its major cities, like New York, or especially New York, would put an end to this travesty. Bassem, any interventions on this matter?
Folks, all I can say is that after decades of criticizing Israel for having to choose between a Jewish state or a democratic state, because it's tough to have both, which is the obstacle to a one state solution with equality for all, annexing America will finally be the one state solution so many have advocated for. So, what's the fuss all about? Just annex, baby. Annex. Good boy. طيب. Okay. Any other thoughts before we close this up? I'm
look,
ready to annex.
I wanted to say something. I all of this, it's so centered in and around human discourse. Now, when I'm in doubt, I go to the Bible. Mount Zion, Hebron, Jericho, Gilead, Bethlehem. You know where all these cities are? Right here in the US of A. And they were all mentioned in the Bible and are part of the promised land, which is Israel. So it's not complicated.
It makes a lot of sense.
Can I add something as well to Sinan's revelation?
No!
تفضل.
Um, uh,
تفضل.
um, Annexing would fix the US's university problem.
اي
The
والله.
gradual takeover of universities has been sluggish and boring in its pace. It's literally taking years to bring universities to their knees and to deflate the aspirations of the students. Have Americans learned anything about their universities? They've had years of encampments and petitions and unpatriotic courses, noisy faculty, and curricula created by actual researchers. Yuck! It's so sickening. And this dates back to the suffrage and civil rights movement. The problem has been festering for too long. Israel can fix this with the flick of a button on a drone. What's wrong with wholesale bombing of anomalous universities? Who needs UC Berkeley's and universities of Wisconsin's and UT Austin's? Look no further than the 7 universities in Gaza that have been leveled to the ground. Universities across the US are already dropping in global reputational rankings. Who needs them anyway? Honestly, scholasticide is unfairly criticized. Like pesticides, it eliminates pests inside the university. Get it done.
Thank you all for joining us today for a critical, seminal, insightful, and irrelevant discussion of Making America Israel Again, why Israel should annex the United States. We hope to see you during our next emergency teach-in, which usually shocks us every couple of weeks. Assalamu alaikum و bonsoir. هلا.
ايه الاخبار؟
All right.
You wanna move?
I was trying.